The Lion's Roar, a Buddhist story. The story. Long ago, there was a small village on the outskirts of a dense forest, and this forest was home to many wild animals, including a mighty lion. The lion, known as the king of the forest, would occasionally let out a tremendous roar that echoed through the mountains and plains. His roar was so powerful that it struck fear into the hearts of all who heard it. One day, a group of travelers passed through the village on their way to a distant land. As they set up camp near the forest, they heard the lion's terrifying roar. Overwhelmed with fear, the travelers ran to the village, seeking help. "What is that dreadful sound?" they asked the villagers. The villagers, well accustomed to the lion's roar, replied, "That is the sound of the king of the forest. His roar can be heard from miles away, but do not worry. He does not harm us. His roar is simply a reminder of his presence and his strength." Despite the villagers' assurances, the travelers remained fearful, unable to rest or feel at ease. The lion's roar haunted them, filling their minds with anxiety. They began to imagine all sorts of dangers that could be lurking in the forest, convinced that the lion would attack at any moment. They couldn't sleep, and their fear grew stronger with each passing minute. The next day, the travelers met a wise monk who was visiting the village. They shared their experience with the lion's roar, asking him, "How do the villagers live so peacefully with such a terrifying beast nearby? How can we overcome our fear?" The monk smiled gently and said, "The lion's roar may be loud, but it is not the sound that harms you. It is your mind that creates the fear." The villagers understand that the lion, though powerful, does not seek to harm them. They do not let their imagination control their peace. The lion's roar is a part of nature. Just as the wind blows and the rivers flow, the lion roars. But the true source of your fear is not outside, it is within your own mind. He continued, "In Buddhism, we teach that fear often arises from the mind's tendency to imagine threats where none exist. When you let go of your attachment to fear, the roar becomes nothing more than a sound. The lion, just like all beings, has his own nature, but it is up to you to choose how to respond to that nature. You can live in fear, or you can live in peace by understanding the true nature of things." The travelers listened carefully to the monk's words. They realized that their fear was not caused by the lion, but by their own thoughts and emotions. Inspired by this insight, they decided to stay in the village for a few more days, learning to observe the lion's roar without fear. Over time, the sound of the roar no longer frightened them. It became part of the background, something natural and unthreatening. The meaning. The story of the lion's roar teaches us an important Buddhist lesson. Fear is often a creation of our own minds. Just as the lion's roar itself was harmless, many of the things we fear in life are not as dangerous as we imagine them to be. Our minds, driven by uncertainty and attachment to imagined outcomes, amplify these fears, causing unnecessary suffering. The Buddhist Lesson 1. Mindfulness of Thoughts. The travelers in the story allowed their minds to create elaborate fears based on a sound they did not understand. In Buddhist teachings, mindfulness helps us become aware of our thoughts and emotions, allowing us to distinguish between real danger and imagined fear. Through mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts without becoming overwhelmed by them. 2. Letting go of attachment to fear. Fear, like all emotions, is temporary. By holding on to it, we give it more power than it deserves. The villagers in the story did not fear the lion because they had accepted the lion's nature and learned to live peacefully alongside it. This reflects the Buddhist teaching of letting go. By releasing our attachment to fear, we find inner peace. 3. Understanding the nature of reality. The lion's roar represents the challenges and uncertainties we face in life. Rather than reacting with fear, Buddhism encourages us to understand the true nature of things. This understanding brings us freedom from the illusions created by our minds and allows us to respond to life's challenges with clarity and wisdom. 4. Inner strength and compassion. The monk's compassion and wisdom helped the travelers overcome their fear. Similarly, by cultivating inner strength through meditation and mindfulness, we develop the capacity to face our fears with calm and compassion. This not only helps us, but also allows us to guide others on their path to peace. Conclusion. In conclusion, the story of the lion's roar reminds us that fear often comes from within. The external world, with its uncertainties and challenges, may be loud and intimidating, but it is our reaction to these challenges that determines whether we live in peace or in fear. By practicing mindfulness, letting go of attachments, and understanding the true nature of reality, we can transform our experience of fear into one of wisdom and serenity. As the travelers learned, the lion's roar is not to be feared. It is simply a part of life's symphony.
Thanks for watching. If you find this video meaningful, please share it with others. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more great content.